Folks, what's going on? HeirofCarthage here at the Stir River, and I'm bringing you some action here from Romulan Dog, where Romulan Dog's gonna remind us of something pretty important. The food at a Vampire Coast camp, you know, when you're in the army, it's really rough. The rations are spoiled, tainted. You eat a lot of rotten beans and ham and other things, and it's very difficult on even an undead digestive tract. It gets very rough. I mean, you can see the pale, sickly color of the Vampire Coast as a whole. And Aranessa herself, I mean, is clearly suffering from some intense scurvy, which is why she's missing several limbs and, also looking quite pale. But it has an even bigger effect on certain units, and they end up like this. So full of gas. And the searing gas pain is intense, folks. You can see it, like, just kind of emanating out of his skin from too much eating. Yes, this is a bloated corpse. And there are 4 bloated corpses on the battlefield here because Gunny's cooking here, this vampire fleet captain. Yeah, it's not been good. His cooking leaves a little to be desired. Ever since leaving Sylvania's cooking school as a failure, he's found no more success in the world of the Vampire Coast. In any case, we got Queen Bess here, who is also firing barrels full of the spicy beans that the camp has been enjoying so much. And the Empire seems to enjoy it as well. It sets them on fire every time they take a taste. Anyway, we do have the Empire here, led by Mr. Marcus Wolfhard. There are some spearmen with shields. There are some swordsmen, and it looks like the Empire hoping to just kind of rush in, get enough units into melee, support with some Demigryph Knights. There was a Black Lion Hellblaster, but it got absolutely shellacked by carronades. I think with carronades being as cheap as they are and available, the Black Lions should have been probably not the first pick here for the Empire. There's an Amber Wizard making his way in on foot. He's already summoned up a Manticore to go for Bess, and that's understandable that you'd want to go for Bess. I like the polearm guards that are just kind of left back here for the Vampy Coast. That definitely makes sense as well. So Wolfhard's going to make his way around. There are some crossbowmen up on this ridge line, hoping to capitalize. And back here, the first bloated corpse is kind of making himself known. And he's charging with these Demigryphs, and they do manage to see him at the last minute, and they're like, whew, boy, good thing we didn't get too close to that guy, you know? We're headed upwind now. So they're feeling like that they've escaped here and gotten away from the gaseous threat, but they forgot that Aranessa has a fisherman's net, or spearfisher's net here for just this very reason, to hold someone still and to make them smell what has been dealt. He who dealt it, or he who smelt it, dealt it, you know? Yeah, there you go. The Demigryph Knights were dealt it. And so they are gone now. That was actually a fantastic use of a bloated corpse. You can see that the Vampire Coast here on a whole, searing gas jokes aside, is built very, very weak in terms of infantry. And there were also other bloated corpse attacks on this flanks that left a couple of swordsmen in very rough shape. There is one more bloated corpse that's been saved till the end. Probably the Vampire Coast is going to work on clearing out all mobility, and they have nearly succeeded in doing so between the carronades and the bloated corpse. Look at that hit right there in the great swords. So old Bessie doing her job. But yeah, it's a risky move here on the part of the coast because your infantry is just going to be absolute dog crap in order to afford the units that they've brought here. That was a very nice shot there. What did that come from? Was that Wolfhard? Yes, it was Wolfhard. It hurt bad. Nice summon here from the Vampire Fleet Captain as well. It's going to come in very handy. Another way to help get more units for the cost that you've put into this this army. So I like that play. See the Empire bringing in more swordsmen. The problem is for like these swordsmen is like even if they get back here and start fighting these deckhand mob polearms, I don't even think they'd win that fight. They've been so tattered by Queen Bess and bloated corpses that even against the weaker Vampire Coast infantry, they're not going to do well. And right here, they actually get caught. They don't even make it to the back. You can see Wolfhard trying to move in, and he is, no doubt, yeah, wow, he couldn't hit the broadside of a Necroplex Colossus, apparently. CA, please. Like, really? When these characters like Alethanar and Wolfhard are shooting at something this large, they should just hit it. I can understand if they miss, you know, occasionally shooting it like Aranessa. And speaking of Aranessa, um, she's very quick, and some might wonder why she's so quick. And it's, again, from when you eat the food like you do in the coast camp, she's gotten very good at speedily making her way to the nearest outhouse. And so that's one of the reasons why Aranessa is as quick as she is. She is slowed down by some more net shenanigans, so she's not the only one with the net shenanigans. And Wolfheart makes her pay, but Wolfheart also takes a face full of grape shot out of the Necrofex, who is really dishing it out. The Necrofex has been pretty effective. We'll take a look here. Yeah, 82 kills, double chevrons. You can see, though, Wolfheart gotten hit by the Spearfisher's net. He was attempting to do a snipe ability on Aranessa, and he lands it, so she's going to take a bit of a beating, but it's not enough. Wolfheart is wishing that CA hadn't nerfed him like this net, and he's going to end up in melee with Aranessa Salt Spite, and he's not going to like it. That is not going to go well for Marcus Wolfheart. So at this point, the Empire is well and truly finished, and the last, I did miss it. I apologize that I missed the explosions of the other bloated corpse, but the other bloated corpse, you can see its handiwork here. It came out and blew up an entire unit of swords and part of another, and utterly deleted what was left of the Empire. So this was some excellent bloated corpse work, and also I appreciate this replay from Romulan Dog because it makes my bathroom humor even easier to pull off. So he may not have wished for that to be a side effect, but it did become such. So you can see the bloated corpses here, just huge raw damage dealt. The value won't show very good because they were relatively cheap units, but you know, it's funny. Value's a funny thing. Like, there's more to value than just the gold cost, which is the way that CA calculates this, and it's very useful. Don't get me wrong; it can certainly tell you when you've got an excellent value. But someone might say, "Well, these corpses, that's not even a good value." Well, isn't it? It may not have like taken out all that much gold, but if the Empire doesn't have infantry units to kill your own like cannons and stuff, then yeah, that was valuable. Then it allowed the rest of your units to continue to gain value, which they did. So like, look at these carronades and the Necrofex here. It's some excellent work. Queen Bess even pulling out some pretty nice value here, considering how much Queen Bess cost. And then Aranessa doing quite well also. I mean, you can see the infantry. Honestly, like, when you're getting this much raw damage out of a deckhand mob, again, the value doesn't show much, but how much do these guys cost to begin with? That's pretty great. Like, I mean, you'll take that kind of stuff all day long from these units when they can help you get that much raw damage dealt. Some nice work here by this unit too. Look at the raw damage coming out of this one as well. That's obscene for units that cheap. That's definitely something you want. Wolfheart was dishing some damage too. Aranessa obviously put an end to that, or else he would have been able to cause a lot more. I like the summon that you bring against the coast. What I don't like is like the Demigryph Knights with Halberds, for instance. Very expensive units. Yes, they're good against large. Occasionally, you will run into the need to kill large from the Vampire Coast. But one of the biggest problems you end up with Vampire Coast is the carronades. The carronades are very good. They're cheap, and they're very good for their cost. And so carronades will do tremendous damage to an expensive unit that's all in one place. And if you look at the spend across these three units, it was carronade bait, and that's where they got most of their value. And so you got to consider things like this whenever you're going to play Empire against the coast. I'm not perfect at it myself, but you know, if you put together units that just make it easy for them to get their value, it'll be a struggle. It'll definitely be a struggle. But in any case, hope you all enjoyed this one. It was a fun match from Romulan Dog. I actually have another replay from him that I'll go ahead and film too. It was another really good one. I do have another Skaven replay, but I figured you all had seen two of my Skaven replays in a row, and it wouldn't hurt to have something a little different for you here on a Saturday. Hey, just in case people missed it, by the way, I finished the Heralds of Ariel campaign on a live stream. It's on my channel. You can go watch that video. I don't know how good YouTube is about notifying you that this has been done, but it's episode 15, and it was the finale for the Heralds of Ariel. We also finished the Throt campaign on stream the other night, and if you go watch that one, it even has a few embarrassing stories from Heirs past, if you want to hear those. But yeah, we also finished the Throt campaign, which leaves us just to finish Draika. And then I am going to go back and finish the Grom campaign. And once we finish those, I'll be moving on to the new content this year, which is going to be a Shogun 2 campaign, which will, of course, lead into other classic Total War campaigns to come. So if Shogun 2 is not your jam, don't worry, there'll be other ones. And then a co-op campaign from Mrs. Ereza and I And of course, I'm streaming twice a week. On Tuesday, we usually do our multiplayer battles with the community. And on Thursday, we've been handling some single player. So if you want to see those streams, please feel free to check it out. We've had a great audience so far. We have a lot of fun. It is at 8 p.m. US Central on those days. I know it's not the best time for the whole world, but it's pretty much the only time I can stream. And of course, all those will be available to watch afterwards, should you choose to. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing out for now. Hope to see you all back soon. Some more Total War Warhammer 2 action.